Good evening. Hey, years ago, I used to watch a TV program. You kids won't remember this one, called You Bet Your Life, with the host Groucho Marx. And several times during this show, this small stuffed bird would on a string would pop down in front of the contestant, and when the contestant said the magic word, and this word was chosen beforehand by the showed it offered the contestant a chance for a prize if they said that word during the interview. Anyway, wouldn't it be nice to have such a thing in our lives for real, when we made the right decision or stepped into the right position or came across the right opportunity? This little bird would just simply drop down from the sky and say, "Congratulations, you just made the right choice." But how much simpler would things be, right? But instead, we just have to step forward, taking a risk, many times unsure of what lies ahead. We give our best efforts, we invest our precious resources, not sure what every dollar we've invested is going to bring us. We spend our most valuable commodity, our time, in an effort to see if the road that we are on is indeed one that leads to success. But without this magic word bird popping into our lives, how can we determine the path that we are destined to follow? Is there any way we can be sure? I have an idea. It is something that has worked for me several times in my life. I call it the anointing. You might have a different word for it, but in ancient days, when a person was being commissioned for a new office or post or a kingship or anything like that, they would pour a vial of oil over their head, and it was meant to symbolize the introduction of a sacramental or divine influence, a holy, holy emanation, a spirit or a power or God. Like David, Samuel anointed David, and there are other places in the Bible about it. But several times in my life, I've perceived that this sort of thing was happening to me, and I've tried to be ready in those instances to move as humbly yet powerfully as possible, realizing that being a leader is not a license to boss people around. That's not it. It is instead a responsibility to help people find their way when perhaps they're struggling a bit, and in and of themselves. And it's a calling to help empower others by showing them the courage necessary to overcome obstacles in their path on the way to fulfilling their own callings. Now, too often, power-hungry people anoint themselves, right? And they set out to prove the power of their authority, which is obviously tainted and can come to no real good. But a humble person who realizes their place and determines to exercise their rightful authority wisely and discreetly can become a great leader. So determine in your own mind to discern where and when you are to lead, and equally as important, when you are to follow. Use your anointing to empower others and bring them into the fullness of their purpose as well. When you do this, you will in effect see that little bird pop down and say, "Good job, you have done well." Hey, this is Steve Garrett saying grace and peace.